Why is it every time I decide I'm going to film something, it rains? Well, I know it's winter, and I know that's the standard here in the UK, but like, if you decide you want to play golf one day and you're going to wonder what the weather's like, just drop me a DM and ask me if I'm filming that day, and then you'll know it's going to rain, because that's what it feels like at the moment. So anyway, I'm going to go and play golf today, but I'm not going to be able to film what I was going to film. So I'm going to film what I want to film here in my house. A little bit like the first ever video I did like this, in this very room. I'm going to go and do it again. So 3-4 years later, after the last time I was in this room filming this particular video, here I am again, and not much progression has happened in that time. Dirty car. Let's get that out. That's a mess. Is it all golfers or just my boot that's always a mess? Like, my wife won't let me leave the clubs in the house, so I've got to keep them in the boot of my car, so they literally go everywhere with me. And then my boot turns into an absolute just mess all the time. Is that just me, or is that you guys as well? Is your golfing boot an absolute tip like mine? So after my last video, I just want to say massive thanks to you all for being so supportive, so understanding as to why I've done what I've done. And actually, it's a little bit of a weight off my shoulder because I wasn't sure how the reaction was going to be for that. So to get that video out of the way now gives me the sort of the confidence to move forward a little bit with where I want to go with this channel. The weather is horrendous at the minute. Like I said, every time I want to go out and film, it's just raining. Had enough of it. But I'm going to do a little bit more personal on this channel now, rather than trying to be so, I don't know, I won't say polished and professional, because I don't think I've ever been that, but just a bit more vloggy, a bit more fun. Just a bit more of like what I'm doing when it comes to golf. I'll still do reviews, but I'm not going to do them in such a serious manner. I'm going to do them in a manner in which kind of relates to you guys. You know, what do you want to get out of a club? Do you care about all this twist face, power face, speed foam, no speed foam, all that rubbish? Or do you actually just want to know if it's a decent club or not? So that's where I think I'm going to go with reviews from now on. But anyway, back to my bag. This year's bit of a giveaway in the name, but you've all kind of seen the video of my Wilson fittings. This is not really the most surprising what's in the bag that you'll ever come across, but I just want to explain what I got, why I got it, and a big thank you to Wilson, because they're the ones who supplied it. They are going to sponsor me for last year and this year. This is a little bit like 6 months later kind of video, but there's some new products coming from Wilson next year, especially in the iron range, and I'm really excited to get them and test them. But let's look at what I've got in my bag now. It's going to be messy. It's going to be dirty. I don't clean my golf clubs. And we'll talk about why I've got these clubs in the bag. Right, so my bag. Let's start with the driver. So I reviewed this club probably earlier in the year, and it sort of blew me away. Really, how good it was really sort of staggered me. And the point was, I put this in the bag out of choice. Now, I tested every driver this year, reviewed every driver, and there was only one that kind of got into my head as, actually, this is a really good driver, really, really, really reasonably priced, but just performed just as well, if not better than the rest. And that was the Wilson Dynapower Carbon. So this club went straight into the bag, and it was from there where I kind of then approached Wilson and I said, look, I'm really impressed with the driver. I'd really like to start using the rest of the Dynapower range in your clubs. Is there anything we can do? And that's when they kind of said to me, look, we'll sponsor you for 2023 going into 2024. And I agreed to that. So actually, this is a sponsored video by Wilson. They're not paying me to use these clubs, but they do provide me with the golf clubs, balls and bag and everything to go with it for the next 2 years. So a massive thank you to Wilson as well. So Dynapower Carbon 9 degree, and this is a Ventus Blue 6X shaft, and it's tipped 1 inch, and that's purely just to get my spin down a little bit. But when I went for the fitting, the performance that this gave me was superb. And then I've got the mid-size aligned Golf Pride grips on all of my golf clubs. So yeah, that's the driver. Really, really impressed with this, and can't see it coming out of the bag really until Wilson released something new. 3 wood is obviously the Dynapower as well. So I've obviously tested the launch pad 3-wood as well. I've done a video on that, and that's on my channel, of the whole Launchpad range, and I love that Launchpad range for its ease of use. But the 3-wood with the Dynapower give me more of what I wanted to do. The Dynapower, the Launchpad can be a bit spinny, although to be fair, I'm still not really getting on with this. This also has a 6X shaft tipped an inch, and I'm kind of feeling like I want a bit of a heavier shaft. It just spins too much for me. And the first time I took it out, which was out in Ireland, Dan said to me, he says, like, you shouldn't be getting that much spin, so maybe I need to go back to Wilson and ask them if they can possibly put a bit of a heavier shaft in this one. It's just doesn't perform as well as my Strixon did, and I'm kind of toying with putting the Strixon back in the bag just to use it for golf, because this one, it's just a bit hit and miss at the moment. The head's great, ball speed and everything's great, it's just I don't think this combination works for me currently. Hybrid does work for me, it works really well. 19 degree 3 hybrids, this is a 3-iron replacement. This has got the KBS Hybrid 80 gram X shaft in it. Perfect weight, really good spin levels, really good distance levels. And that's why I think I want like a 70 gram and a 3-wood. So I've got 60, 70, 80 going in across that range. Different grip, but still a mid-size line, just a different colour. Love this club, love how easy it is to use, love how it looks down at the ball, love how it performs. Yeah, I'm a massive hybrid fan, and it takes a lot for me to like a hybrid, but this performs just as well as anything else I've used this year, really. Now, the irons themselves are probably a little bit too good for where I am with my golf at the moment. So obviously I played a lot of golf when I got fit into these, but I've not played a lot of golf since July. But what I can't say is that they don't perform well when my swings well. It's just when I'm off, these obviously show me up, and that is the Wilson Staff Model Blade. Now I've got this in 4-iron to pitching wedge, and I initially was a bit scared of the 4-iron, but actually I really like it. I love how low the ball flight is. I love how penetrating these are, and that's why I love the blades. Is I play on quite a windy course, and these aren't really high launching, they aren't high spinning. They are so controllable, but you can manipulate flight a lot better when it comes to a blade, and you can manipulate shot shape a lot better when it comes to a blade than you can over those game improvements. So that's why I went for blade. But the reason I went for blade over the CB is the blade length is actually larger with the blade than it was with the CB. So when you're looking down at the ball, actually my confidence was better with the blade than it was with the CB. So yeah, maybe not the greatest choice getting 4-iron to pitching wedge, but so far I've been really impressed with them. I love them, and when I'm back playing golf properly a lot, these have performed really well, and I'm really excited to get using them. But I believe there may be something new coming out from Wilson this year, and once that gets tested, then this may go out. Now this has got the KBS Tour C-Taper shaft in it, 130 gram X-Flex, purely to keep spin and the launch down. First time I've used this, and I'll be honest, I'm not a massive fan of the shaft. Performance wise, love it. It's the first one I've had that's sort of smooth all the way across. I normally like, is it the rifled or the like where it sort of like steps down? I normally prefer that kind of shaft. And if we look a bit closer, I'll have to put my hand in the way. Not sure if that will focus on this or not, but it's just starting to sort of, I don't know, blacken out a bit. It's really difficult for me to be able to show that. But it's that's obviously not the Wilson club. And I don't think it's not rusting. It's just as if like, I don't know, but I don't like it. I think I'd probably prefer to go back to a Project X shaft or a Nippon Modus 120X. But the problem was, I don't think Wilson did that as a fitting option last year. So this was, I mean, don't get me wrong, the performance is great. It's just a personal preference when it comes to look. Now wedges, I've got 50, 54 and a 60. And the 50 and the 54 are the Staff Model wedge. And these are just a traditional looking wedge. The grooves are only in the centre of the face. Really, really traditional. Again, this has got the C-Taper 130X shaft in it, the 50. And the 54 has also got that in. And the 60 doesn't. So the 60 is a different wedge. So these are the same shafts as in my irons, and the reason I've done that is for gapping, because I'll play full shots with the 50 and the 54, whereas the 60 is more of a touch 60 yard in. I want that feel. So the shaft I've got in that is actually a 120X Dynamic Gold X100 shaft. Just a bit lighter, just to give me a little bit more control over it. But the 60 is the high toe. And this is my favourite golf club in the bag. I love this golf club. I love the high toe. So easy to use out of bunkers. It's like a cheat stick. Got a nice thick sole on it, so the bounce is there to be able to get me out of the bunkers. I absolutely love this club. In the winter, it's a little bit too much lofted, so I don't really use it a lot in the winter, but in the summer, around the greens, just nipping it off that turf, it's just a weapon. Produces so much spin. Absolutely love it. And finally, the putter is the Staff Model blade. It's the BL22, so just a traditional looking blade, very Scotty Cameron looking-esque. I've always performed better with these. I have changed putters throughout my sort of last year. I've had a TaylorMade, I've had a Ping, but since putting this in the bag, I've definitely gone back to loving the blade style putter as opposed to the mallet type. I think I've putted my best when it comes to putters like this. So this has gone in the bag, and since then it's staying in the bag. I've putted really well with it. Just got a lot more distance control, and I make a lot more putts with this than I do that mallet style putter. The ball of choice, I went with the Wilson Staff Model ball. So I had a choice of this or the Triad. Tested them both out, was sent both by Wilson, but this just gives me the best performance. So I've changed to the Wilson Staff ball. And the only other thing really of note in my bag is my ShotScope Pro L2. I love this rangefinder. It performs well. It finds the pin quick enough. It vibrates when you find the pin. So can't really knock that performance on this. It's as good as a Bushnell that I've tried in the past. So no complaints really when it comes to that. Tees, I am using tees because they sort of give me a decent price, and sometimes he sends me some for free, but I use Northern Ball Markers tees there. So yeah, I use their tees, Sunday Morning Show Dan Hendrickson bag, and like I said, when it comes to ball markers, I have a sort of a plethora of ball markers in this bag of mine that I have, but the main one that I use is not in there. It's fallen out, and it's not sure how well you can see that, maybe get it to focus a bit, but it's a Lest We Forget ball marker from Northern Ball Markers. I bought this in 2021. It was one of their specials at the time. Very sort of one of those sort of quotes and things that's quite close to me, as you may have seen. It's something that I have tattooed on me. Ex-military, very, very sort of passionate about that kind of thing. I think our War Heroes did a lot for us. So yeah, absolutely love that ball marker. And then the bag itself is obviously a Wilson bag. They did kindly send me a tour bag with my name on it, but that'll only really be used for promotional pictures or Instagram pictures. It's not the kind of thing I'll turn up at a golf club with, because then you become a tour bag anchor with another letter before it, as people like to call you if you turn up the tour bag with your name on it. So I kind of leave that one at home. So that's my bag. Also a big thank you, a big shout out to PJ Tour. I obviously am sponsored by them and wear their clothing and apparel. And with Christmas coming up, now's a great time to click the link in my description. I'll go down to the PJ Tour page on Amazon and buy your loved one or buy yourself a nice little treat. Amazon does have a gift option, send a gift to someone, so please go and check out their apparel. It's great equipment, it's great apparel, sorry, it's great quality. I've been wearing it for well over a year now, and I've had absolutely no troubles with it, and I'm not just saying that because I'm obviously sponsored by them. That's the truth. I'll only ever tell you the truth on this channel. So yeah, please go and check them out and do support them for supporting me. It would mean the world to me. But that's my bag done, and I'm now going to go and play some golf for the first time in a few weeks. Hopefully I can get around okay. I'm now starting to put cards in. 7th of January is hopefully the date I get my amateur status back and I can just start playing opens, start playing golf for fun again, and put what happened behind me and just move on and get back to enjoying golf. As always, thank you all so much for supporting this channel. Thank you so much for supporting me personally. It means the world to me. And all those new subscribers, thank you so much for joining me on this journey. There will be loads more coming in the new year once the weather starts sort of picking up a bit. But for the meantime, have a great weekend, have a great Christmas, a brilliant new year. And if I don't see you in 2024.